Brooks and I are going to the big woods to check on what we got for storm damage. One of the landowners, I was there the other day talking to him, and he said that there are a bunch of trees down on some of the tubing. I normally wait till fall anyways to get in there, so this morning I said it's dreary. I'll go check it out real quick, so see what we can find. Hopefully it's not too bad. Come here. No, come. Come on. Come on. You're a pain in the butt, you know that? Go. I had to get Brooks' orange on him because it's the start of hunting season. I think it's birds and maybe expanded archery, so he can do his thing now and not get shot. But when it's hunting season, I don't come out here on Saturdays. In Maine, you can't hunt on Sundays, but on Saturdays when there's a lot more hunters out, I don't come in the woods in November. But during the week and the rest of the year, it's game on. I got work to do. So we get the four-wheeler unloaded and get ready to do this. Not even 20 foot in here, there's a branch down on the road going in, so we'll kick that out of the way and then go check the buildings. That's not easy one-handed. Check the tank real quick and make sure there's nothing fun growing inside it, and then check the building. Tank looks good. Just a couple acorns where the squirrel was underneath the rubber that covers up the door. That's it. And inside's not bad. Pretty much just the way I left it. I'll probably bring the shop back down before we get going for the year, but that's in pretty good shape. Perfect. So this top was hung up in the tree. I cut it because it fell over one of my lines and it got hung up and I couldn't get it out, but it finally did. So I think I'm going to drag it out of the way just so that I don't have to go around it. It's just in the way. What? What? I can put these on without your help. No, can't. I need your help to put them on. I can do this. So this line way up here, that's my pump out line, which it's like 25, maybe 30 foot in the air down by the releaser building. So that one's looking good. Nothing hit that one so far this year, which is good. The same with the vacuum transfer line. That 2-inch is just fine, but the 5/16 underneath it, that's just for the vacuum monitoring system so that I can read the vacuum level at the tank. That one's kind of drooping. At some point I'm going to put wire ties on that just to tighten it up, especially because the low spots, they get a little bit of liquid in them when something frigs up and then it freezes. So if I can get those pitched, then that won't be a problem, but not today. Let's check the releaser building. And that looks good too. No mice, no fun stuff. A little bit of crud on the floor, but nothing I can't clean up. But I'll get that another time. And these lines coming in, they look good from here. I can see one branch that's down on top of it, up there, on top of the dry line. I'll stop and throw that off, but it's not bad. And we did get 4 inches of rain last week, and then another 2.5 inches of rain last night. So the brook's running a little bit, but I'm sure the four-wheeler will get through it. Now this is right where the B line splits off and goes out to that piece of woods. This is on the lower section, and then the wet dry go up the hill here. So I can look out, look at my B line. Nothing on those. The wet dry looks okay. Now, all these little pine trees, these were all cut down a few years ago when I really started working in here, and they've grown back. They're close to 5 foot tall, so probably not this year, but next year I'll have to get in here and cut them down again because I don't want that shade on that wet dry line. Plus I want to be able to walk faster. Not that I have a problem with that. So today is more of a find the big work that's going to be needed to be done, get rid of some trees, but if it's small stuff on the 5/16, I'm not going to put a ton of effort into that just because I've got to walk all those lines anyways. But I do want to put eyes on every main line, so you can already see I got a little bit here on the 5/16. The main looks good, but I'll walk down and see if I can get it real quick. Alright, we're at B1. There's just a couple branches here that are just a trip hazard for wintertime. But if you look down, I can see the whole thing down to the ladder. And that doesn't look bad. Look at my wet dry. That looks good up to B2. I may need to soften this. It might break. But everything, B1 doesn't look bad. Take that. Oh, I can get this. Pull that back up. That line will take, and it'll come back together a little bit. Now the 30p doesn't come back a lot, but it will. So I'll let that'll tighten itself up, especially when it gets cold. And now I'm just going to cut cross lots over to B2 and see what's here. And I can look up that new section I put in last year, that B system. I can look up a lot of that too, but it's definitely wet. I probably should have worn my rubber boots, not work boots. Up to the turn, B2 looks good. And B1, well, in the B system, it probably ought to be called just B3. It would make more sense because then they'd know it's got taps on it. The laterals don't look bad here, but I got one line. I got one branch down on the main. That one's done. Now having these established roadways definitely makes it easier to cut cross lots in a hurry because there's generally not a lot of laterals hanging over it. But, oh, here's one. Something dead come down. Not quite sure how a branch falling down can end up as deep down in the ground as it does. That was a dead spruce that fell way up there. It broke down to there, and then the top of it ended up on the wet dry, but it looks like it just leaned against it. It doesn't look like it did anything. Part of that has to do with the fact that I put plumber's strapping around my wire. That's what I screwed to the posts with, so it can't pull it off. I used to use screws. That doesn't work. It just, something hits it, it bounces, it comes off. Another pain in the ass. Come on. that one, there was nothing left to it and it landed on that lateral, but the one next to it wasn't far behind. So by taking both of them down, well, cleaning one up and taking one down, then I don't have to worry about that later. It won't, because it can't do it, because now, well, it's on the ground now, so it can't do it. Looking at my wet dry, that looks good down there, and now I'm into the C system. But my wet dry is good all the way up to the top of the hill. These laterals on C1 don't look bad, but I'm gonna walk them real quick. Something happened here. I got pipe all over the ground and it looks like it may have just pulled apart. So I may need a tool for this one, because I can see the splice hanging off the wire at the main, but the pipe's on the ground. A branch came down over there. Yeah, it just pulled itself off. So, and I didn't bring a tubing tool with me because today was tree day. C2 is good. Looking back down at the big ladder, the C ladder, that's all set, but somehow I missed pulling a tap on one of these trees. I might be able to get it by hand. Got it. It's definitely moist through here. Another mess down. Got pipe on the ground here. Luckily it's just small stuff. I don't know what happened here. Oh, I see a tree come down. Yanked it. I might be able to put this one back up depending on how it came apart. Nope. Pulled the fitting apart. Oh, there. It just pulled the splice apart, so that's an easy one. This line here is one of the ones on B4 that I want to extend this main, because it stops right here. I want to go way up there, because then I can shorten up some laterals over on that A2 line, because that one, they're just too long and I'm pulling it uphill, and how else do you get to at least a quart a tap? I mean, everyone wants to be half a gallon a tap, but if I can get to a quart, I'd be happy. It's an easy one. I'll try and do it one-handed though. Maybe. You can see that it all held because I used that strapping, and that one's up too. It just bent it down, so I'll kick this thing off. It should go right back into place. And I almost got the dog, but it's right where it's supposed to be. That beeline's all set, and I just jumped in this little spike horn. He was bedded down, never even heard us coming. The dog was out in front of me. Of course, he was confused. He didn't know what the hell was going on. And the deer just took off. But nice little spike. I haven't seen a buck in here in a long time. Of course, now the dog's figured out there's a deer here because he's thinking he's smelling something, but he didn't have a clue. Definitely should have worn the rubber boots. Yep. Now this is where that extension off that B4 line would come up. It'd come up through here and down over to there, because I've got a whole bunch of really long ones, and I could catch them here and shorten all this up, which it's about efficiency. Shorter lateral lines, more mains. This is another section where laterals are too long, and I'm probably going to be adding a 3/4 inch main up between them, because you can look right down there. That's the wet dry is right there, and B2 comes down, so that line's going to shoot right from there, right off the wet dry, and then come up, and then B2 comes in from this side, and B3 is up there, and that's got a lot of taps, and you can see some of those they're probably close to 200-foot laterals, so, and they're pushing the 7+ tap count. So if I can take and do, and then I'll skirt the top of that ridge, probably down a little bit, catch all those, shorten that one up on B3, shorten these up. I mean, I'll have probably close to 500 foot of 3/4 here. but it's going to shorten all these up, and then we're getting our pounds per tap up, or gallons per tap, whichever you prefer. I found the problem here. This is a dead tree that fell down over there, took down 2 laterals, and it's the top of it's laying on this main, so it doesn't look like it's crazy, but oh, there's another one right there too. This one needs a saw because it got 2, and it's too big right there, and it's here, and then it knocked a post out here, but it ripped out the screw out of the wood. But this one was just 1x4 rough sawn hemlock, so there should be 2 here that are down. Yep, there it is right there. Those 2, I'm gonna replace them with pressure treated like we did last year, because that made a huge difference, and it probably wouldn't have held up to this, but it'd be better because I'm not gonna, those are old, they're rotten. Now this is a mess. This is the line that goes to the monitor for the A3 line. And this tree, well, it's not bad, but it's a pain in the butt. That one needs a saw. I do have 2 posts that I'm going to replace, probably actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them I'm going to replace, because if I just do it, then they're done. I don't have to fight with this again, because they're all about 10 footers. So if I do 5 10 footers pressure treated, that'll only be like $400, because the price of pressure treated lumber is outrageous. Now, if you like what you're watching, making maple syrup, working on tubing systems, John Deere tractors, and working with those, subscribe. It's the little button down below, like right down below. Click on that and it'll let you know when we have new videos come out, send you alerts. It doesn't cost you anything, it's free. It's like the one thing in life right now that doesn't cost any money. I mean, they literally charge you for everything. You go to the fair, they charge you to go pee. So subscribing to my channel is free. Go ahead, click that button right now. See you next time.